quick Copilot Studio video here from a hotel room in Denmark. So we want to take a file from a user in a Copilot Studio agent conversation and do something with it. Right here we want to send an email, but it could be anything. Let me show you how easy it is. First, we want to create a topic that is to direct the conversation. What I do here is to say add topic from blank. We will trigger this. So this topic helps when the user wants to report an error. So the intuition here is that the user will upload a screenshot in the chat, and then that screenshot will be, for example, emailed to our customer support. I can also go up to untitled and let's just call this report error. Then we can take the file from the user. I do that by asking a question. Scroll a little bit down and then I can say, kindly attach your file. Then I also want to identify this not as multiple choice, but as a file. So I go find the file here. And actually this was a question from a Copilot Studio workshop today from a participant, and thanks to you, you know who you are. Two things we need to fix. I can click the var1 and let's pick a better name. Then it's much more easy to handle our variables. Of course, you can name it var1, but I don't recommend it. This one is called screenshot. Then we click away. We also want to click the three dots, go to properties, this is also important, entity recognition, choose to include file metadata. Then if I go back here and in here, I want to make sure that this is enabled. Sometimes it forgets this. Then I can do this. So this would end this topic, so I can have a topic management end all topics if I want that, not 100% necessary. This means that I can start test this flow. Let me just also save it so we have it. I go over here in the test window. So then I click plus here. And how can I help? I want to report an error. Then it will ask me to upload a file. Kindly attach your file, and I can do that here. So then if that is, let me just cancel this. Now we also want to do something with the file. So I go back to topics, report error, that was our topic. So now we want to, let me go down here. So right here, we want to do something with the file. We will add a tool and then we want to say new agent flow. Here's our agent flow. What comes in is a file that comes from our agent to this flow. So you click this plus, make sure you pick file and let's call this screenshot. So now we have something coming in. Then we can also decide what do we want to do with this. Let us just search for send an email. So I want to show you how to handle this. And please, if you even watch these videos out there, please give a comment below. That will really make my day. Thank you. And then I find my name, sorry, here too. We can also add a subject. So just say error report. And then we can also have a body. Kindly see attached. Then we want to attach the file to this email message. You do that by going down here to show all. The important part is the attachment, add new item. So this consists of a name and a content. Click the name, click the lightning, and what we want to do here is to pick the name. Then we have the content. Like the dynamic again, that's the content bytes. It looks like this. So we can also give this agent flow a name. This emails we do that up here, but we can only do it once we have clicked save. Email error, something like this. And then we can publish it. Publish means that we can use it in the agent. So in a little while, we can click and be taken back to the agent. So here I say go back to agent. And if you think I'm a little bit unfocused, that's because Denmark is playing its natural match here in the hotel room. They're actually in front 2-0 now. They just scored. Anyway, back to this video. Here we need to map the screenshot. You can see that's a record. We need to send this into the Power Automate flow. You go click here. Then you should see all these 4. If you only see the screenshot and not these 3, that's because your file metadata is not enabled, and you can just go back. Here we create a formula. And yes, I had to ChatGPT this to get this right. So I wasn't able to remember this, but now I do. So here's a topic, say screenshot, and then I say dot, and that's of course the content. And it looks like this. And actually, for some reason, you can see here it changed this to. So I want to make sure that this is the same. Sorry, this is the name. And then I say topic, screenshot, name. I think it, because I created a variable previously. Let me just fix that. 2 seconds. So this is adjacent to key value pairs. That's what we send in. Let me just fix this. Then you should see no errors, and you click insert here. Now this gets inserted. We can hit save here. Actually, it's just 3-0 in the football match. I hope you like my live updates. Now it's ready, so I can go over here and let me just refresh this. I can say 2 more than 0. And then it should ask me to kindly attach your file. So I can attach any file. I think I took a couple of screenshots here. So I'll just pick one of these, or I can pick a file, for example, the Gabriel composition, if I rather want this. Doesn't really matter, we just test it. Now it is here, and we can send it. Then if this is your first time using this connector, you will need to allow it. We will only do it once, and when we go to production with this, we will also need to allow it. So here if I click it, you will see that it will process the file, and then I have in my email inbox this email. There you go. Error report sent to Anders Jensen. Kindly see the attached, and with the Gabriel composition over here. I think I will take a shower. I just worked out as well here. So thank you for tonight. Might make a video tomorrow. See you.